ever wondered what project manager characteristics makes a good project manager versus a bad one? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you some of those characteristics that you can kind of analyze yourself to see where you or potentially your project manager is at. And if you want to be a project slayer, stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share with you how you get your hands on my top 10 project mistakes checklist. Hi, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Adriana Girdler, and you've landed on the best practical project management channel in the universe, at least my universe. On that note, I would hope that you would subscribe so that you can join this awesome community. Now, if you're excited to learn about project manager characteristics, let's get to it. Good characteristics, constant learning, and continuous improvement. Now, why is this so important for a project manager as a characteristics? Because as you progress in your project manager and management journey, you're constantly learning from past projects. You don't want to be repeating the same mistake over and over again. That's actually the definition of crazy, when you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So a really good characteristic of a project manager is knowing it's about continuous improvement. It's about learning from the past so that you can be better in the future. Now, there's tons of ways you can go about doing this. It's just taking your after action reviews at the end of projects, or I'm going to do a shameless plug, do an online course. I have one, Slay Project Manager, practical project management course. It's going to give you what you need. But that's really important characteristic, is a project manager who's always willing to learn and get better to ensure that next project goes from good to great. As being a project manager of constant learning, underneath this video, I'm going to give you a free link to a free webinar on 5 Fab Fundamentals of Project Management that I created just for you. And it's free because this is so important. I want you to learn. Bad characteristic, poor time management. Now, I just want to clarify something because, I talk about good and bad, and I don't want to make it this definitive line that, oh, if you have these bad characteristics, then you're a bad project manager. Think of it more along the lines of there are some really good characteristics that really help a project manager excel, and then there's other ones that if you have these type of characteristics, I highly recommend you focus on them to enhance them to become better at it, because it just makes your life better. So I just want to clarify that. I know for YouTube we talk about good and bad, and it just makes it easier to disseminate information. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it. It's not that it's bad, but a characteristic to enhance definitely is poor time management. If you're not good with time management, project managing and being a project manager is all about time, schedule, managing it, ensuring that you're organized. But not only you, your team, everybody around you who you're guiding in this process. You are the leader, you are the manager of this project for it to ensure it comes to fruition. So you having really good time management skills becomes critical because you have to be on top of everything, macro view, and you have to understand the micro view so that you can lead people correctly. And having really good time management skills is just critical and an important characteristic. Good characteristic, integrity and trustworthiness. I really believe, this is my personal belief, that your project manager, you're in charge of ensuring the well-being of your team and that they have everything they need at their fingertips to successfully execute their tasks. Because when your team is successful, the project's successful. And when the project's successful, ultimately as a project manager, you're successful. You can't be successful without your team. Now, why integrity and trustworthiness? I just find over the years, maybe this is my age, playing games gets you nowhere. So be honest, have integrity, really be clear with what you expect from everybody, that you expect them to be open and honest and transparent. If things aren't going well, don't hide it, okay? It doesn't mean that you're not doing your job. In actuality, when you are transparent and you have integrity and you share things the way they are, and you say, hey, we are hitting a roadblock, that just means you're on top of stuff. That's a real positive thing. But not only that, the way you do it is you're not finger pointing. You have your team's back. You do it collectively. And if you do all the due diligence that you're supposed to do through the phases of project management, and you've planned and you have everything tight and you're constantly on top of stuff, as you should be, because you're a project manager. Remember, it is a fundamental skill set. Then this integrity and trustworthiness is just another layer that is going to bond your team and actually allow you to, what I call, move mountains, not literal mountains, but figurative mountains in projects that definitely exist. Bad characteristic, Forgetfulness. Okay. Just like time management, forgetfulness, you just can't be forgetful. You really need to be on top of everything. You need to understand all the little moving parts, which is why your documentation becomes really important. But forgetting what's going on or conversations or not being on top of stuff is actually going to hurt you, not help you. There's so many little moving parts, and depending on the complexity of your project, you are kind of the, well, not you are kind of, you are the glue. You are the glue. And so in my projects, a lot of times it's because of my sharp mind and my wit, but my sharp mind, of not forgetting that I can take conversations that are potentially derailing and remind people by going to my minute summaries, pulling up agreements, and really right away laser beaming on what we have to talk to, because people have forgotten what everyone's agreed to. So it's your job not to forget. It's your job to remind people, because it's really easy for individuals when they're focused to not think of the bigger picture, and that's your job as a project manager. So you cannot be forgetful. You really have to be on top of things, and the best way to do that so you're not stressed out because it's in your head is to have it written down on paper through your documentation. Good characteristic, excellent organization. Now, you probably would have guessed that already based on some of the comments I made in the previous tips. But you being organized is critical, and that organization comes through not only in your documentation, but it's how you set things up. And it really helps not only you as a project manager, but it guides the duration of the project really smoothly, and it helps your team as well. Now, I know I already talked about this, and I do have that course, Slay Project Management, and I do recommend you check it out. It's actually underneath the link. I actually have you covered. I have templates, everything you need, that you don't have to think about anything. It just guides you in the process. And I just find over the years of everything that I've been doing, which has been 20 plus years, it is all about having everything at your fingertips. And if it's already set up for you, as I've already done for you, then I'm telling you, it makes your life so much easier and organizing. And it's really just like a checklist. You're just checking things off. But having excellent organization as project management is a critical project characteristic. Here's a bad project characteristic. Being individually focused. All right, there is no I in team. And with projects, it's all about the team. And as a project manager, it's all about what are you doing to help your team succeed? Because again, their success is a project success, is your success. So if you're individually focused, only worried about how things are working out for you and how things look for you, and not thinking about the project as a whole, if anything, one thing I find is really good project characteristics is they're not thinking of themselves, they're thinking of the collective group. So being individually focused is a really bad characteristic, because you're not going to really do anything else that's needed to set your team up for success, which is ultimately what we all want to do. Remove those roadblocks, get to our deliverable where everyone feels like they did it together collectively. That really is huge. Now that you know all about the good and the bad regarding project characteristics, don't forget about this. Remember what I told you earlier on? You need to understand those 10 top project mistakes. And for you, it's free. Oh my goodness, free. Under this video, there's a link I did just for you. Check it out.